Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net and it is Wednesday the 25th of February. Thanks again for watching. This is your look ahead video. Interesting developments taking place next week as high pressure is forecast to build into the UK. Now, I was originally going for a west to southwesterly developing initially, but the ECMWF and the GFS have now fallen in line with trying to bring in a northerly for a time off towards the east before the high builds in. So that's kind of the focus of attention at the moment and is the focus of this look ahead. It's the 500 millibar chart that shows the area of high pressure building. This is the ridge look getting going out in the Atlantic there. What that's doing is pumping warm air northwards. It builds the heights in here, creates the ridge, but it also then strengthens the trough off towards the east. So this is next Wednesday. And if we just put the pressure chart over the top of that, look, there's the area of high pressure, which is underneath the ridge, which is in there. Look, there's the trough, almost a perfect match. And what we're looking for is for this warm air just to continue to pump northwards here, building the heights. And that eventually leads to that situation by Thursday. So this is surface pressure for Thursday morning. High pressure forecast to be off towards the west. Northerly wind coming down across the UK. Some snow showers off towards the east, but conditions settling down. And that northerly wind feeding the cold pool down here. We can see that, look, this is the 500 millibar chart forecast for next Thursday. There's the jet stream coming in, look, feeding that cold air into the cold pool down here. And look, there's the warm air pumping north, which is creating the ridge. So all seems logical, doesn't it? Well, you would think so. And you'd think even more so looking at the ECMWF. This is the forecast for the 5th. So this is Thursday the 5th. Look, there's that northerly flow. Here's the ridge, look, pumping northwards, high towards the west. Virtually exactly the same chart that we've just seen on the GFS. And then the ECMWF operational builds the cold pool down here. Look, that's the result of the cold air feeding in. The highs in here, east to northeasterly flow developing. And it keeps it in place into next week on the operationals. But if we look at the ensemble, that does something different. Here's the ridge pumping northwards, look, the warm air coming north. There's the cold air coming south. Again, this is for the 5th. But look what happens. The ridge is toppling eastwards as that warm air pumps northwards. Yes, there's still cold air getting into here, but because the air isn't from such a cold source, it means that this cold pool is not so deep on the ensemble, and that means that by the 7th, that feature just hasn't got itself going quite as much. Still got the ridge coming through, still got the high, but instead of the winds coming from a cold east to northeasterly direction, they're coming in from an easterly direction. And then if we look at what the GEM does, this is the Canadian for the 6th, look, there's our ridge, but just notice it's much further south, look, cold pool is kind of there, but nowhere near the strength as shown on the GFS and the ECMWF operational. And by the 7th, look, second ridge is building in, but we've got fronts moving their way eastwards, bringing cloud and rain to the north and the west. Yes, pressure is building towards the south, but look, the cold pool is clearing off to the east. And then finally, this is how the GFS ensemble sees things. This is on the 6th. Look, there's our ridge pumping through, but the high much further south, a southwesterly flow. Just a trough off towards the east. Not even any signs of a cold pool there. And then the 7th, look, there's the ridge built through again, but here's the high. And yes, got the high building nicely into the 8th. And the GFS ensemble wants to keep that high there as well into the end of the period 2 going through to the 10th and the 11th. This is what it does temperature wise. Look, it goes for this cooler hit during next week. There the temperatures falling. This is for Glasgow, by the way. And then look, it pulls the temperatures up as the winds go into the west or the southwest. Now, out of these two options, I have to say that my most favoured solution is still to go with that milder idea, that actually that northerly, I suppose the northerly could develop, but generally what I think is going to happen is that that ridge does slip off towards the east and the south as we just saw, and we don't get the easterly winds kicking in. It stays as that south or southwesterly. I suppose we could say that with the high going east it may well go into a southeasterly, but I don't see the cool conditions. What I see actually from this is relatively mild, dry and rather sunny conditions. CFS picking up on this as well. This is the week 1 forecast. So there's the high down to the south. Look, there the low, the normal heights towards the north. There's the flow that we've got this week, which is what we're seeing, of course, right now. Week 2 looks like this, high building through. Look, jet stream squeezed off towards the north. It tries to bring in a south or southeasterly flow. Week 3 has a question mark over it. Now, look at this in more detail tomorrow, but week 3, the CFS and the ECMWF32 trying to just break things down a bit, trying to put a temporary trough off towards the west, flow something like that. So it keeps the south and the east dry, but goes for some rain north and west. That's something we've got to watch during that week. But then look, by week 4, the high the north heights are back in again, trough is out towards the east there, southwesterly flow, and we're back to the fair conditions. So the high is there, it's just that we've got many question marks hanging over it as to exactly where and how it's going to be developing. Of course, we'll keep you updated right the way through here at weatherweb.net. I think the message from this one really is don't trust the models entirely at the moment, because they're seeing the high, but they're just not seeing the detail. Whatever you're doing, have a great day. Thanks again for watching, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.